Okay, so we're back again, and what I did for you is I made two different stripes. I show them to you. One with the short piece on the top and the long one at the bottom, and the other one the short piece on the bottom and a long piece on the top. So you should actually have two like these and three like these. You should have one, two, three stripes with short bottom and two with long short. Okay, so once you have your 5 stripes, the thing is you have now to put them together so it makes a kind of square, the center of the rakusu. Here you see it very well, although it is not the actual thing because it's a different way to put it together. But that part is what we are doing now, that central part. Okay, so we always start from the center. Let's look at this rakusu here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straps. We're going to start with the center stripe, that is to say one stripe with a short part on top of a longer one. Short on top of the longer one. That is to say this one here. Short on top on the longer one. This is what you've got here. Alright? Just here. Okay? Now we have to sew this one on your left and this one on your right. How do we do it? We've got, of course, to get something like this, which shows here. How do we do it? We just take this central part, short on the top and long at the bottom, and you have to draw a line at about 1 centimeter here, then another line at 2.5 centimeters, exactly the same way we did for the vertical stripes. Then this space in between is 3.5 centimeters, and there again 2.5 and 1. If I put it this way, I just wrote the figures 1, 2.5, 3.5, 2.5, 1. What is it all about? If you look at the center of the rakusu, the 1 is now folded under. You've got your 2.5 here, you've got your 3.5 there, your 2.5 here, and the 1 folded here. Okay? So once you do this preparation with the lines, be very careful with your measurements, then you can start to think about preparing the second piece, which is exactly, you deal exactly in the same way as the vertical stripes. That is to say, you take the piece and you draw a line at about 1 centimeter from the edge. So, this is the central part here. This is the line, and what you have to do is now put them back to back, like so, back to back, making the two lines meet. And what you do is you sew along there as before. So again, what I'm not going to
Could you
sew.
show that again?
Yes, of course.
How you put them together?
So you've got your central part here. You've got the part you have to add. So you draw your line at 1 centimeter from the edge. You've got your 1 centimeter and your 2.5. You've got to make that second line here meet this one. In order to do that, you take the two pieces back to back and you do this. So the two lines meet here, here and there, and what you do is you sew along here. So I'm not going to sew now, but just to pin it with a few pins to show you what happens then. Let's imagine that these are our little stitches running along that line here, exactly in the same way you did the vertical stripe, exactly the same principle. And you end up with this line here being stitched here. This line is this line. And then you do this and fold it like that, ironing it. Remember what we did when we had it this way? Same principle. And then you put this 1 centimeter here, that fold, you fold it, and you iron along here, pin and stitch. And this is what it looks. Sorry. It's not paper, this is living material, just like us. That's it. Right, so this is that part here, and this is your first vertical two lines running down here and down there.
Those are the 3 pins on the side?
These 3 pins represent the first line, and this is along the fold, the second line. And the distance here is 2.5, as well as this one is 2.5. So it's a square, 2.5, 2.5, running down like that. That's the principle. There is something two pitfalls to avoid. Very important to remember that when you put the pieces together, back to back, they really have to be back to back. Many people make this mistake. I'll show you what they do, and I've done it many times. When you are not mindful, when you're not focused, you sometimes do this. You put your two pieces together, and then you happily do this and start to put your line together, but when you do that, it's the back of the fabric and not the front. So when you do put them back to back, I really mean it. It's back to back, because eventually what happens is that it turns this way. That's the first thing I wanted to say. So be really, really careful. Your first piece, small on top of your second one, and back to back like that. Now, the second thing you have to be really careful with is the distance between these two. 2.5, 2.5 as well. So you mustn't sew there or too close. You've got to really have from that point to that point 2.5. So how it doesn't show really, but you can just look through the light. The fabric is almost, you can see the shades, and you can also feel the measurement, check the measurement. So you really have 2.5 here. So when you turn over like that, you have 2.5, 2.5. That's something like that. It shouldn't be there, for instance. Too far. That's not 2.5, it's almost 4. Shouldn't be there either. It's too short. It's got to be really 2.5 precisely. Okay? So, if we look at the measurement of the Rakusu following the Sawaki pattern, which what I follow actually, is this. Your stripes here are 2.5 by 2.5 every time. So that's an easy thing to remember. The distance between this bottom line and the edge of the frame is 4.5. And the distance between this to the frame is, well, 2.2, 4.5 is 9.5. And 2.5, 2.5, 4.5. That's how it works. So you've got 4 centimeters, 0.5 from here to there, 2 centimeters, 0.5 from here to there, 2.5 again, 2.5 and 4.5. That's how it works. And here, between this and this, this and this, this and this, it's 3.5 every time. 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. So vertically, it's a 2.5 story. Horizontally, it's a 3.5 story. 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and 4.5 here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this part and sew it before you and so you see the process of sewing. Okay, the sewing process. But basically, it is exactly the same way as we did the vertical stripe. What we did here, this way, we do here that way. Same principle. Okay?